So I want to talk a little bit about what we just experienced about 2 or 3 weeks ago. We had our live profiler training event. It's a 5-day event. You might have heard us talk about it in videos or our emails we've been sending out. It's been a really great experience, this last event just a few weeks ago. And we had, as you can see here, this is the most recent class photo of everybody that got to join us live for that experience. Everybody that was there and spent 5 days with us, but they actually spent 6 months preparing for the experience. So there's an entire online virtual preparation for 6 months, getting ready to come to a 5-day live event where we spend every day walking through the art of conversational profiling, which we're going to talk a little bit about in just a moment. And we thought one of the things that we could do is just hear from some students right out of the gate that were actually at this experience. So I've asked Darren and Ari to come on. Let's start with Ari first. Ari, what's your best fit personality type?
ENFJ.
Okay. And Darren, what is your best fit personality type?
I am INTP.
Great. Now, both of you just actually went through your second event because you were both part of an advanced program. So you have a little bit of a perspective of a new student, but also somebody that decided to go on to one of our courses called Profile Dynamics, which Antonia taught around basically the type dynamics between functions, priming people, both of you as well, in order to be coaching using personality type. So that was the intention of Profile Dynamics and really getting to the type dynamics and the interfacing. So maybe I'll start with you again, Ari. Maybe paint us a little picture about your experience with profile training in general, and then I'll talk to Darren too.
Yeah. So my first experience was in May of this year. I had found you guys through your podcast maybe 2 or 3 years prior to that. And had heard you talk about your live events, but it was kind of all in the midst of COVID when I had found you guys. So they weren't happening for a little while. And the second that I saw that they were happening again, I was like, oh my gosh, I've got to do this. And I mean, clearly I'm extroverted. So I don't have a shortage of being able to talk to people, but I will say that until the live event in May, I had never experienced the level of just like connectedness that I felt with that many people in one place all at once. I also was the youngest person there, which was not a big deal because we were all people who loved the same thing and were there to learn and grow as individuals and grow as a group. And I think that, just seeing people from like someone from Hong Kong, someone from like Netherlands, like people all around the world from different walks of life, all of us being there for the same reason was just the coolest experience. And it completely, rattled the way that I go through life now. But I'm going to stop there and let Darren say his portion of that probably before I keep going.
Thank you, Ari, by the way. Yeah, that's great. Darren, Ari's giving you the floor. You get the mic.
I get the mic. Gosh, as an introvert and as a thinker, I think learning type really helped me relate to other people, and it helps kind of bridge the gap using a framework so that I can understand people. And coming to the live event, I think really it's about being able to find a place where you can be seen for who you are. And you get to meet people like Ari, and if you're lucky as an introvert, someone like Ari will adopt you and your life will never be the same. And there's very few places in the world where you can show up and immediately people kind of know something about you and they're interested in you and they want to know how your brain works. And so it was such an eye-opening experience to see what life could be like if people understood you at this level. I think a lot of INTPs walk around in the world not feeling like they belong. And so this is a place where you can feel that.
That's great. What is maybe talk a little bit about, you both have stuck with this. I mean, clearly all 4 people we have on tonight have talked about community and people and all of that. And I've talked a little bit about business and at least with like Jenny and Jeff, he's weaving in his family dynamics. All that stuff is great. You guys have stuck with it to the point where you've done advanced programs. And I think you've actually enrolled again in a secondary version of that. So clearly you're wanting to take this and use it in some way in your life, or there's some intent behind it. You may not have it all figured out, why is it that you want to continue on the process? Like, what is it giving you in your practical side of life? Does that make sense? What I'm asking? Ari, let's start with you.
Oh, or me. So I was gonna hand him the floor, but I'll kick it off. So I actually, going into this, I just like loved all of it. I didn't necessarily know what exactly I wanted to do with it. After the live event, I realized that I absolutely could not find a way, could not find a way to implement it in my life in a bigger way than just like me heavily consuming things. And I had kind of started prior to the live event just to practice profiling, but I had started profiling a lot of people that I work with. And I work fully remote for my job. And so it actually was allowing me to get to know people and even meet people for the first time on different teams and departments at my company who were hearing about it from other people I'd already profiled at work. And since then has now, that's kind of become a very well-known thing throughout departments at my company. And I've profiled probably over 40 people that I work with now. And it's just been really cool just being able to not only meet new people and then have, people who I can reach out to if I have questions about things that are not things that I know, but also being able to help them as individuals, but also being able to explain to management, like how this, like knowing these things can be really, really awesome for working cross teams, cross departments, and also better creating processes and systems to suit the people using them rather than just like forcing something on to a group that's not going to work with how their brains work. So that's been a really big thing for me. Again, I didn't have that intention going into this necessarily. It's just been what has come out of it. I also use it with my family a lot and all of my friends, basically anyone I talk to, somehow I try to weave it into conversation. It actually even came up when I was interviewing for the job that I'm in now. So yeah, that's currently how I've been using it. Plus I just signed up for coaching and following that, whether I start my own coaching gig or if I try to find a way to incorporate that at work too in a more legit way, I'm not sure, but that would be cool.
That's great. And I know that you're on your journey, you're on your path of weaving it in. Thank you for that. Darren?
Yeah. When I first joined, I was founding my first startup. And I think learning type really changed the way that I related to my co-founders, my employees, how I manage them, how I talk to customers. It really opened up a new world to understanding the human component of business. And I talked earlier about how coming to the live event it felt like being seen. I think leaving the live event, having the experience of the live event and embodying all the different types, understanding all the different types, being near them in person, I was able to leave being able to see people in my life much deeper. And not only now from this like business standpoint, but I think the relationships that I had, my personal relationships, I'm also able to love them better because I understand who they are in a way that I couldn't before. And that's something that has always been difficult for me, but the live event helped me to bridge that gap, and it's been an incredibly fulfilling experience.
That's great. Yeah. All right. Thank you both for sharing. For time's sake, I probably need to move on, obviously, for everybody. I appreciate you both being here, and maybe I'll ask you both quickly, real quickly, if somebody's trying to make a good decision tonight, how can they be thinking about it from your perspective, Ari? Again, like 30 seconds or less, if you just kind of sum it up, and then we'll go to Darren. I know it's a lot of time. I know it's a lot of time, but
I would say that if you want to experience massive growth personally, if you want to experience a level of connection with other humans who love the thing that you love, and if you just really like this stuff, and if you have all the love for Joel and Antonia that I'm pretty sure literally all of us do, getting to learn from them in person is incredible. And the people that you meet when doing it, incredible, totally worth it. I say do it. Obviously do what's right for you, but I would highly encourage anyone who is interested to join. Sorry, that was probably 45 seconds.
It's okay. There were kind words toward me involved. So it's good. And Antonia too. Darren, any last comments about that?
Yeah. So I'm presuming most of you are here because you listen to the podcast, you consume the content, which is really good content. And you might be wondering, is there more? Like, can there be more to the world? The answer is absolutely yes. And if you join, you're not only going to get a lot more of what is promised you, you'll find something that you didn't expect that, not just getting what you want, but getting what you need.
Thank you both again for being here, for sharing your hearts, for coming on. We didn't really plan all this. You did it beautifully, showing up. All four of you came and really beautifully showed up for us. So thank you. Have a great rest of your evening.
Yeah.
We really appreciate it. I'll definitely see you in 6 months, but hopefully before then too.
Yep. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.